Okay, so this is going to be just a super duper quick update. I didn't work on the project at all, like over the weekend, and haven't up until today. But I do feel like that actually helped. Just a little bit of a pro tip, I guess. If you are struggling thinking of ideas for a project, just don't do it for a while, and maybe you'll think of some ideas, which did happen to work for me. What I'm about to show you, I kind of struggled with figuring out exactly how to do it. I don't know if this is the final product or not. I'm sure I'll hit some roadblocks that'll potentially make me revamp the way a lot of that stuff works. But for now, it's good enough. So I'm going to do, drag this off the screen so I can log in really quick because I'm actually using my real email address. All right, so I am logged in. You'll notice nothing changed since last time. Literally everything is exactly the same except for this menu. Last time I showed you that I had productions working. These are actual things that are updating. They're in minutes, so it's not going to be like super often, but they'll update. This is an actual live count of the unit types that the active user has. So all this is accurate. I have introduced miners successfully. So the purpose of miners is to mine a resource called Nitra, which eventually I'll use for like production. So for example, building warehouses to store more materials or creating upgrades to like have better weapons, just stuff like that, like permanent upgrades. Farmers, on the other hand, will gather food, and that is the resource that you need to create units. So that would be this right here. Eventually, I'll have a cost right here. It actually already has a cost. It's just behind the scenes, like in a table. But what I'd like to have is, first of all, make this slider a little bit smaller and not go up to like 10,000. It's a little excessive, at least for now. I mean, maybe I could have it like dynamically update with something that's like, maybe 100% is however many the user could create at the time, something like that. But for now, it's just 10,000. What I'd like to have is something that automatically shows how much food creating this many units would cost in a little live, food bar or bubble or something like that. But don't have that yet. But what I do have is the resources down here. And this is actually live updated. Right now, I think it's running like every 3 seconds. No, it's every half an hour. So basically, the way I figured to make this work, this is actually inaccurate. I just kind of wrote it there as a little, tool tip, little funny thing, I guess. But right now I've got running every half hour. I'll probably in final production have it like 4 hours, or who knows, it could work in a totally different way. But for now, every 30 minutes, as I have it in the code, each miner you have will go out and gather one nitra. And obviously this is not, formatted with commas or whatever, but that's just a little thing that I need to do. But each miner will go out and gather one nitra, and each farmer will go out and gather 35 food. And you will use that food to create dwarves. So right now, say I create 166, puts in an order for 166 farmers, and it reduced the amount of food that this user has. Let's say create like 3,000, and reduce the number again, say 10,000, let's say like 20,000. Yeah, see, I need to figure out a better way to do that. So 10,000, that would cost, see, this is another problem. I don't even remember. Pretty sure it costs 10 food, something like that. Or maybe, no, it's 5. Farmers are 5, miners are 10. So yeah, didn't have 50,000. Get a little thing here, failed to create them, don't have enough food. So that's a good thing. It's checking the database to see if the user would be able to create that. And if not, don't place an order for it. So finally got that working. She'll start coming across some issues. I think the next thing I should do is have this just totally revamp this. I want a counter that says how much food it would take. I want before a user places an order, I want them to know how long it's going to take. And I'm playing with the idea of being able to cancel orders, but it's not that it would be complicated to do. It's just that I don't know. I wouldn't want people to be able to exploit some weird thing where they can like create and cancel and create and cancel. I feel like that's a good point of attack for like a not denial of service. I don't know if that's like valid of me to think that or not, but you know, I just don't feel like it's necessary. You know, if it wouldn't be necessary if people can see how long it's going to take and if it would use like all of their resources or something like that. So I don't think I'm going to do that for now. But anyways, yep. The way I've got to implement it is I'm running a cron task. If you have used Linux, then you would be familiar with that. A cron job, sorry. Every 1800 seconds, so 30 minutes, it's going in and saying like, hey, what dwarves do you have? What's the amount? Like what type? And then it says, okay, for each row, so each type of dwarf that user has, and its respective amount, says, hey, do you have any minors? Okay, if you have any minors, we will give the user, I don't know why I named it get resources. I think I should probably call it give resources, but it will give that user ID that type of resource, that amount of that resource. This is in there twice. That's probably why there's a gigantic amount of Nitra. Hey, well, finding new things every day. Yeah. Farmers gather food. There we go. Live bug fixing, super exhilarating stuff. So, yep, that's how I've got it working. If you got any suggestions, feel free to leave a comment. I would really appreciate it. If you know anyone who wants to help work on, oh, this is another thing. Yeah, if you know anyone that wants to help work on the project, that'd be great. One thing I want to do. So as you can see, I have to scroll all the way to the bottom, see the food and natura, and obviously like, I could put it up here. I could put it on like every single tab. I think one thing that would be really good is have this space. I could either shift this to one side and then just have a constant panel like on the left or right side that's always there. Or I mean, I could utilize both sides, you know, have something here for like resources, food, a little, you know, very condensed version of this. Probably just resources and whatnot. But I still would need to have it here at least somewhere because, as you can see, you know, most people play games on their phone, obviously. So if someone's on their phone, you don't really have that space. You only really get that space around this size, which is maybe like an iPad or something like that. So kind of playing with that idea. It's not gonna be hard or anything. It's just like, you know, trying to figure out if it's worth doing or not. Just because, you know, a lot of people play games on their phone. I do feel like this is more of like a desktop oriented game, you know, with like the chat and the messages, like all that kind of stuff. But still, I mean, you gotta produce it with that kind of thing in mind. But anyways, just a quick update on an actual gameplay feature. Like this is actually technically a thing that a user can use to interact with the game and make numbers happen. So like that's pretty freaking awesome and something that was giving me a lot of headaches last time I was working on it. So anyways, thanks for watching. See you later.